You guys bring such good energy, and we're going to go ahead and do what we do best, bring some strong analysis, make sure we keep ourselves on the right side using our tremendous skills that we developed together with the Hive Mind, both that mechanical edge, both that unique TA that we deploy in the market, and then of course our macro view. Wow, turn after turn. It's been 5 years now since we've been together as family, turn after turn, doing our best to stay on the right side of markets. And for some reason or another, we always get lucky. The more work we put in, the luckier it seems to we see it. We saw some exits over there. We'll take a look at all of our positioning. We have new positioning going on with also NVIDIA now entering the market. I'm looking at this chart. I love this chart. And today, obviously, we're going to be discussing and hitting on remember, I've been saying for the longest time, I've been saying this cycle is not about retail at all. Everyone's asking, where's retail? Retail's not here. Yeah, they're stuck holding altcoins, unfortunately. But it has nothing to do at this point of cycle as we enter early majority with that retail bid. Retail, I've said, is irrelevant. And the new retail is the small corporates, not the large corporates. The large corporates, those like MicroStrategy, the new ones being born, like 21, they are absolute like Pac-Man eaters, eating more than 3 times of the supply that's being put out there every year coming from newly confirmed blocks. And they are absolute giants. And guess what? There's more coming, and they're going to get bigger. I love this chart here. This chart lining cycles up from the cycle high. And as you know, I always like to make observations that could be made here. Well, first of all, one of the clearest ones is that we're pretty close to being right on time and all 3 cycles magically aligning. But another thing that we could bring up, or I would like to bring up, is that this last cycle, this current cycle, the volatility was very suppressed on the downside compared to past cycles as we continue to grow in adoption, and likely would have been suppressed further had we not had the blow up of FTX, which also brings to mind that likely if FTX and others were not selling Bitcoin they didn't have, which is it's a fact that FTX was selling Bitcoin they didn't have, price would not have been suppressed over here. Maybe price would have continued up. Of course, we all know, looking at the macro, it appears in the coming year, this is going back in 2021, we were talking about 2022. We put out that post October 16th, October 14th, 2021. Looking at the macro, it appears there's going to be a rate shock ahead. Bitcoin is not immune, and that also set off the bear market. Some other anomalies we can see over here, the global lockdowns. Had that not occurred, I think that coming into the halving, Bitcoin's price would have been a little bit higher, a few $1,000s higher. But these things happened, and other events are going to happen in the future, ones that we cannot foresee. There's no way that looking at lines on a chart is going to be able to predict some unforeseen event. It's our job, it's our duty to navigate regardless of what happens. We expect that markets are manipulated, and we do our best to navigate to them. The reason I'm starting off with this chart today, and if you just take a look at this box over here, yeah, it does appear that potentially that we could see the stars align. But I'm more focused on the long term. And you've heard me say over and over again, if you enjoy being here, do hit the thumbs up button. Now, you've heard me say over and over and over again that this cycle top is going to be much closer to the 2028 halving than it will be to the 2024. Lots of people expected the top over here, and maybe we don't know what's going to happen between now and there, but check out this box over here, and let me just move it over. And wouldn't it be nice? All right, I'm going to come over into this area over here, this pre-halving, and we saw it last halving that what happened was that price actually made a new all-time high prior to the halving the first time. My expectations into this cycle over here, and a lot could happen. a lot could happen, but it looks like it's going to be closer to the front end of the cycle than later in the cycle. Nevertheless, we don't know. We will navigate in real time, but there will be a time of draw down and potentially, we got, I'm missing one thing on today's session. Hampshire included here. We were talking about yesterday, the NASDAQ distribution. By the way, if you enjoyed yesterday's session on gold and silver and the metals, go ahead and please do hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments. I enjoyed that session tremendously. We're going to make it a regular thing over here once a week, focus in on specifics. Today, I wanted to get into the stock market. Wasn't able to do that for other reasons. So we'll just give our normal daily overview of the equity markets and TradFi, and then we'll get more specific when we can. But today we're focused in on over here how corporates are new retail, and I'm looking forward. Could you imagine Bitcoin? This is the bullseye I got over here. This is, I believe, healthy expectations. And by the way, those expectations will disprove diminishing returns, but we'll get into that later or as we get closer. I think those are healthy expectations. A lot of people probably have expectations if we make a leg up coming soon that we're headed towards something of a blow off top. Now, I don't think that this little chart over here is reflective of price. Actually, it's not reflective of price. There's no way we're going to see anything like 2.5 million Bitcoin into the end of the year or anything remotely close to that. But if Bitcoin were to, jump over 150, 180, 200 in that area, that would be considered a blow off top for many people. I don't think that is in the cards whatsoever. Actually, this cycle looks like it continues to be very sustainable in its trajectory. If we break out to the upside of this channel at any point in time, that would suggest that, yes, we could see a faster acceleration of price, but also soon we would see a deeper, longer lasting correction. So that's something to watch out for. And again, here is people potentially looking for into the end of the year that steeper acceleration of price. I'm more focused on over into this area, into 2007. We're going to wind up there. There's no question about it. We looked at this slide recently, and we were talking about how together ETFs, right? Last I checked, there was $41 billion of funds flown into ETFs. And then we see also the corporates over here, which is roughly 3.28, 3.5% of the supply being accumulated. The major reason for this shift we're seeing with corporates has obviously been the new regulatory accounting changes, right? The new FASB rule allowing companies to report Bitcoin at fair market value, which removed many barriers from CFOs and boards. We're talking about future giants being born. Jack Mallers, CEO of 21, Cantor Fitzgerald, SoftBank, and Tether. Talk about giants. Cantor Fitzgerald, SoftBank, and Tether forming 21. And their goal is actually stated to be able to overtake MicroStrategy's position in amount of Bitcoin held. I don't know whether or not they'll be able to do it. MicroStrategy or Strategy has a significant. I still call Meta the Facebook. I don't even call it Facebook. I call it the Facebook. So same thing with MicroStrategy. They forever will be MicroStrategy. And we're seeing first purchase over here, buying 4,812 Bitcoin and looking at almost $500 million coming into the market. Retail is irrelevant. The big boys are here. This is pretty amazing. We saw months ago, I think it was like 6 months ago, Michael talking about wanting to take a Bitcoin position. A lot of us, we think that things should be done like in an instant. I want it and I want it now. Like things take time, especially talking about these large corporates. And you're seeing that now SEC is saying that Dell can skip even a shareholder proposal asking to assess Bitcoin for its treasury. They're considered part of the ordinary. Look at this ruling is amazing. It's considered part of ordinary business operations, taking Bitcoin as a treasury asset. Over here soon, I believe we will see Dell at the bid. We're seeing this is over here in Latin America. A lot of people are obviously used to Amazon over in the north and worldwide, but Mercado Libre, they just bought 400 Bitcoin. Hey, that's the new retail over here, and they continue to be at the bid. $500 million is nothing to sneeze at, and they're going to keep going for more. Look at this, more retail, more public companies looking to become Bitcoin treasury companies. David Bailey and holding company Nakamoto raises $710 million. And announced emerge with Kindly D to establish a Bitcoin treasury. Some people are saying, "Oh, David's he wants to buy more Bitcoin than Strategy." And David's like, "Listen, that's aspirational, but that's not going to happen. Nobody buys more Bitcoin than Michael Saylor. The man is 5 years ahead of everyone. He won, but spots 2 through 10 on the leaderboard are still up for grabs." Hey, you see, obviously, and not included in any of this discussion is Metaplanet. That's out of Japan. Do you think that Japan is going to be the only country outside the United States that begins this type of accumulation of Bitcoin? Absolutely not. And whether or not 21 is able to overtake Michael Saylor or not, that remains to be seen. They did state that that's their goal. I would love to see it, because you know what? It's not really nice seeing just MicroStrategy beginning to take such a large overall allocation of the Bitcoin. If it would be much healthier, that type of allocation was spread out amongst other corporates as well. Look at this further adoption taking place. First gradually, then suddenly. Now, whether or not McGregor is going to be able to become the president of Ireland or not, I have no idea, because the way I look at it, I mean, we'll see, right? These guys over lately in Europe, we've had candidates win elections, and then okay, well, we got to do it over. That happened twice, and then you see obviously in France they use the court system. Oh, the pen is what she can't run. Like, so who knows whether or not McGregor, if he were to become president, I would imagine there's a really strong chance that Ireland would become one of the first countries outside of the smaller ones. I mean, you can't compare Ireland to El Salvador, I don't think. El Salvador's got a nice head start, though, but we will see eventually other nation states beginning that race. But right now it's about the corporates. There's no doubt, right? We are seeing 154% increase of holdings from corporates over 2024. Over 2,000 businesses now accumulating Bitcoin. We're looking at finance, tech, real estate, healthcare, even Steak and Shake, fast food now even accepting Bitcoin payments at first, gradually, and then suddenly. And here's retail at the bid again. NASDAQ listed GD Culture Group buys up to $300 million Bitcoin funded with new share issuance. Oh my gosh, it's contagious. MicroStrategy is out there raising money in public markets and buying Bitcoin. That seems like a good idea. I want to do it too. And here we are right now, and we've entered into the early majority, crossing the chasm of adoption out of facing reality into the new market opportunity. It's the early majority. You could see the massive difference in adoption taking place, as retail is literally irrelevant at this stage of adoption. The amount of purchases taken by, I'll call it random. GD Culture Group, $300 million, making retail irrelevant at this point. By the way, what's happening over here with discretionary view of Bitcoin? We have taken profits off of that nice, and I mean, really, really nice trade. Bitcoin holding gains and consolidating thus far pretty well. It's not just Bitcoin we're seeing this morning. Equity markets also, after just mega V recovery that's underway, being able to so far consolidate their gains. Let's take a look really quick at what's going on in the markets. NASDAQ and S&P 500 are currently in the green. 10-year yields continue to rise. DXY is unchanged on today. And we're seeing, I mean, it looks like red out on the alts, but really the run up that we've seen, especially on Ethereum, has been pretty significant. To me, it looks like so far it's consolidated gains. What happens next here on Bitcoin as we're a stone throws away from new all-time highs? Are we going to wake up tomorrow or one day soon to new all-time highs? Or are we getting ready and headed for a pullback? So as far as this area right over here, we retested right into this structure, right? As long as we hold that, this is super healthy, and we make the next leg up. This little pattern that we're seeing here reminds me a lot of this pattern over here that we saw right over here. This is that first test into it, right? And then price was able to come back up. Second test, continue to have lower highs. Third test, that line said if we break, we're going to see a larger drawdown. It's going to take longer to repair, because prior to breaking that line, the hopes were that we were going to resume up to the new all-time high and make a new leg up. Obviously, that de-risk was a very, very, very. Coinbase is being added to the S&P 500. So that's mega. I mean, is MicroStrategy coming soon? So yeah, if we break below this structural line of support, then there's a chance that we're coming lower. Something very healthy, if we were to break that, would be nothing more than a retest just below the whole number, 100K. More likely would be something closer, at least towards 95K, and then we'll go ahead and evaluate in real time as we get there. I'm going to come back to this in 1 second. So people have been asking about these templates over here on V3. We were looking at MicroStrategy, right? Still holding open position over here. MicroStrategy on the forward test. I mean, this was like a triple digit position. 158. Anyway, we'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's start over here with what's going on with our current positioning. And we see, by the way, it was someone said yesterday in the comments, they're like, oh, you missed the whole move up. You missed the whole move up and you're buying the high. As we trade momentum. We're always buying. Momentum is kicking either strongly upwards or strongly downside. And we're out of the market. This is contrary to every single trader that you know. And by the way, our whole point, like, no, like that type of mind is not like, oh, there was a 30% correction on the NASDAQ and the whole time you were just out on the sidelines preserving capital. Right? That type of mind is not able to comprehend like the importance of being safe and protected, or more importantly, the long-term goal of outperforming the best of the best and doing it in a calculated way with precision. And that's what we're all about. Yeah, we're buying after, like, first of all, we were sidelined for the majority of that carnage. And then we're trying to get back into positions now as this recovery seems to be gaining more steam and more steam, right? A lot of people hope for, a lot of the best fund managers out there, they hope to just outperform the indexes. But here's the thing is the indexes don't always return 9% a year. The last 2 years, they returned over 20% a year. But there are years that they're negative. Go to 2022. Look at this. So far we're seeing TQQQ holding a position right now, 5% into profit. If you look at at the performance 2020 to today, you're talking about, like, if I could do the math, 165% a year with a 25% drawdown. And by the way, yeah, completely sidelined the majority of 2022 except for one trade because you only buy here out of the market. It's our worst performer though. It's our performer. So does that get it done for you? Like, oh, you're out. You missed the whole move. Then the move hasn't even started. Either we're just beginning to capture actually the sweet part of the move, or if we correct down lower, we're going to exit the market and be out of it over here really quick. Nvidia obviously here performing what is that averaging? Now is Nvidia going to continue its mega ascent? I don't know. I think Nvidia, who's got earnings coming up really soon, right? We have it on the 25th. Let me go ahead and just check one more time. The 28th of May. I have to imagine they're pretty happy about the Saudis getting ready to purchase a really large amount of chips as they continue and look to build out U.S. infrastructure. I heard a number of $600 billion. Trump pushing them to up that number up towards $1 trillion. We'll see what happens. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of chips. That's a good question. That's a good question. Michelle is asking, and we're going to get back to talking about templates in a second. That's a good question. Maybe. Nvidia, right? 2020, and it is 700% a year. You're missing the whole move. Nvidia just entering the market this morning, currently holding a position. Let's see if it holds on to it and continues to extend out that gains. FNGA, 1,000% a year, 13% drawdown. You're missing the move. Tesla, right? Tesla averaging here 750% a year. Is this compounded? Of course, doesn't like. This is compounded returns. You're not, I shouldn't say averaging a year. Over these 4-year periods, that's what the average is, right? So the average is going to be a lot. I'll pick a random year. $121. Compound that for 5 years, right? And then you look at total the average over here. What happens if you could do something like a lot of people like, oh, you know what? Indexes return 9% a year, dollar cost average in the S&P 500. That's the way you do it, right? Well, what happens if you have something like a 30% return? Wow, that's a significant difference. And I think I think this is what we're trying to here at CTM, which is outperforming the best of the best. What a significant difference. Obviously here, there's no taxes being included in this. You can include taxes easily. Let's go. So anyway, I just wanted to someone's telling us that we're late. I don't know. I think we're perfectly on time for executing our plan. And our plan is knowing when to be in the market, when out of the market, out on the side, preserving and protecting that capital, and on which side. And that right there is absolutely priceless. Let's see if we get any carry on these current positionings right now. Want to get into the templates right with you right now, but at first, let me go ahead and continue. BTC 107, exiting the market, right? So you can see entering the market and then saying, no momentum over here, right? And that's perfect, right? Small losses looking to push when trades fall into favor. And you can see the average winning trade, 7%. The average losing trade, 1.7%. The largest winning trade, 29%, pushing those winners. This is since 2020. Buy and hold, obviously obliterated. Ethereum here continues to hold its position. You've been out of the market. You missed the full recovery. Oh, did we? 51% right here, unrealized profit on Ethereum. Cardano is out of the market, and Solana's holding an open trade 7% into profit. By the way, Bitcoin bull runs is still in its open trade over here, suggesting that there is the potential over here for further upside momentum to continue to kick. And then you look at our spot ETFs, IBIT position, forward testing, still holding on to profit. This is a great way to visualize. Here's the buy side boosts. So you saw BTC 107 back in and now out of the market. But those that are trading their capital with the efficiency of allocation. So it's like trading spot, no leverage, but making full use of your account, buy side only. We're still seeing massive, nice movement here currently. I think this is a great way for people to visualize the use of the templates. And you can see there's a mix here. BTC bull runs. The only thing missing from here, by the way, is Nvidia. I'm sorry, not Nvidia. Is Solana. And Solana, I believe, would be a fantastic mix. But this is currently what you have Bitcoin bull runs. Nvidia out on the daily, Ethereum 8-hour, Tesla daily, TQQQ daily, FNGU daily. And you can see there's different points over here. Over here, if I go to you see that it's out of the market, sidelined. You can see that Bitcoin is just running sideways over here. And then you can see the stocks come in and make those massive gains up. And then it works the other way sometimes too. You can see right over here, you can see all the stocks out of the market, right? Currently on the sidelines, as you're seeing that massive correction on the NASDAQ. And then look at Bitcoin bull runs over here, running sideways, taking that loss over here, back into a position. But look, Ethereum here running up. And that right there, that diversity of the equity curve between stocks and Bitcoin and crypto is absolutely well illustrated by looking at the mixture together. Jordan, you're missing the move. We're seeing over here all of our 8-hour templates currently sidelined on Bitcoin. Ethereum holding and will continue holding this trade for some time. It's got a lot of room before it would get ready to close that. And Cardano currently still, it looks like a potential rounding bottom over here, but still the laggard out on the sidelines. Templates. So this is what I want to go to right now. And the question is, let me go ahead and pull up the question so that we could go ahead and make sure to answer this thoroughly. Oof. I like this first. So you're like, even yesterday, we were looking at the miners, and I was showing a template that was built in 2022 on the gold miners. And you might be like, well, that's not in the dashboard, right? So starting off with, we have our cold storage Bitcoin stash strategy, dollar cost averaging plus strategy into Bitcoin, and then our CTM and CTM 2.x scripts. That and you'll see as I go over like CTM 2.0 and X, we have Bitcoin buy side only for those that trade buy boost or prefer just on the buy side only. We have our active scripts 107 and 108, the buy and sell side. We have our Ethereum buy and sell side, our Cardano buy and sell side, and Solana is actually buy side only. I should move this up to here. I should move that up to there. And then the high watermark view where you see me showing the equity, and then the 4-panel view for people showing. Then we also have the CTM 2.0 like versions that were originally built. Remember, CTM-X was built on top of CTM 2.0, except that CTM 2.0 continues to forward test now over 3 years, and absolutely just it's an elegant strategy. And people trade. Some people like to trade a diversification. Someone doesn't think it's an elegant strategy. Get a little thumbs down over here. So Well, whatever. I don't know what you're doing or how you're navigating markets. I know you can't find anyone. Oh, there we go. Okay. I know you're not going to find someone else out there who's going to do something like that. Um, so boom, 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 bum, bum, bum. And over a period. Oh, sorry. I got this. I have this question up. I'm trying to show you. No one. Ace didn't tell me that. Yeah, there you did. So the question is, I probably asked this in the past, but there are more templates aside from the 4 stocks and 4 crypto ones, the main ones. I see a lot in the daily live sessions, but I may be missing some of the details. Any clarity is most appreciated, right? So I'm going to bring that clarity right now. By the way, if you looked at CTM 2.0 live since July of 2022, I mean, guys, what a performance. Like, you could take the best fund manager in the world and they would love to be able to compete like that. Yeah, since we've made improvements, we have CTM 2.0 built on top of it. What I was saying before is you have buy side only on Bitcoin. Solana's buy side only. I need to move that up into here parallel. And then we have our buy and sell solutions on the 8-hour. We have our CTM 2.0 template. Thing is some people still use them. And Michelle, over a long enough time frame, it's the performances are going to be so close. We've looked at, if you look at the Nuggets channel, you could see the performance comparisons with all the Bitcoin and Ethereum templates. And then we have on the daily buy side only for people who want to use. I have no idea even what the performance on this one is. I haven't checked it out in a long time. So 22% drawdown. What does it look like from 2021? Let's get rid of the bull market. It's pretty good performance. Currently holding a trade 21% into profit. I think the 8-hour is superior. So we focus on the 8-hour, obviously. Stocks 1 hour time frame. So I focus on the daily because the daily is so easy to trade once a day, market open. But we still have options, and some people might prefer to be trading Tesla on the 1 hour, right? You missed the run up. Tesla holding a trade 23% into profit. Looks good to me. Looks good and it does outperform the daily, but it's a lot more active, obviously, than trading once a day. Looks good to me. And then over here, we have the daily templates. Under that, we have the Bitcoin bull run templates. And the question is, what about these other templates? What about like the miner template I was showing you that was like proposed at some point in 2022. So we still have it. But first of all, it wasn't refined by the hive mind. And like, and back then we said, if you knew when to use that template, maybe there's a way to look at the gold price, and depending on what gold price is doing, if you knew when to use that template, it would serve a purpose. But that's not what we consider a template that is ready to be used. And it's just like something that lives inside the hive mind. And if it makes it to the top of the hive mind, then it becomes something that we say, well, we believe these are well modeled and top strategies. And they're on the dashboard over here. Now, we're currently working on a couple of things. These are V3 templates and V4 templates, and they're taking our current CTM, built on CTM 2.0, our CTX templates, and they've just added money management to them. Like move the stop loss after X amount percent into profit, and amongst other things, all money management features. And we hope to be able to say these are very well modeled, and we want to bring them into the mix, right? And you can see, by the way, our CTM 2.0 X currently is riding a 52% trade on Ethereum. This didn't capture all of it. Nevertheless, this template does outperform on a longer term basis. But these templates are not yet out of let's say development. and or refined and or we feel comfortable that they're ready to be released. And the same thing with the micro strategy template that you're seeing over here and on the stocks. And the crypto ones, all work has been spent with them. So they're a lot closer to being ready. And this is on the daily. So whether it's our FANG, our FNGU, our Tesla, NVIDIA, TQQQ, Wisdom Tree, looking to be multi-asset. What is this? Is triple Q3 for those out in the UK, and then MicroStrategy. But these templates have not they are not yet even close to being refined or ready to be like rolled out because the focus has been on the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, the Bitcoin and crypto. Then will come these daily on stocks, and then the 1 hour using these V3 templates, V4 templates as well. So these templates that you see, this is this is our research and development. Like this is what our next step that we want to have everyone have the best of the best, but these are unproven and unknown. The amount of time that has gone into the development of our strategies that we put up out on the dashboard are ones that we feel are time tested and proven, and that's why they're here. So we're still working, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time, and most importantly, like we want to be able to produce what we believe is the best, so everyone within CTM could completely have that massive edge, and that edge is already here. Like the edge is really tremendous. So those things are just not ready. They're in development, but we want to the reason you'll see them during the sessions is because we want you to know that that's what's happening. That's what we're working on. That's what we're striving towards. All right. So we haven't taken a look over here at what's going on equity markets, and we see gold continue to be into that correction consolidation. We love that. We want that. US dollar bouncing a bit here today, and everything is consolidating pretty well coming off of these really massive mega V so far into play, well above deep seek low right now. That was the second repair. 1, 2. This should have been 2, but I wasn't on my game over here. The move into the resistance consolidation breakout above. Beautiful. And we're once again consolidating towards the highs over here. Looking forward to tomorrow's PPI reading. Very important inflation data coming out tomorrow, along with retail sales and unemployment claims. Tomorrow is a big day, and market's going to have some data to digest. Lots of very positive developments. So here's the dollar. We have the breakout, came in for a retest. Looks good so far. Big morning of news for sure. 10-year continued. I think it's gonna settle out in this area. A lot of people obviously are hoping for different, but I think that's where we are, and it's looking very good. So we have our Bitcoin entering and exiting. We have NVIDIA now joining the stocks, and NGU is kind of sidelined over here as the move from FNGA into FNG B has just taken place, and they're going back to FNGU. So I imagine we're just, and which is unfortunate because this would be in a long position. I imagine if the other 3 stocks are long, but that's fine. That is what it is. So we'll see if these are some positions that continue to carry into double digit and then mid double digit gains. And we'll continue to see what things develop. Ace, you could go to the automation channel. There are lots of information to be able to do that for sure. But for now, everyone, have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for being here, CTM. I've loved the energy we've been seeing coming off of these public sessions we've been doing, and it's going to lead to a lot of forward progress. Have a beautiful day, everyone. God bless you. I'll see you all back on the inside.